Welcome to another episode of Adventure Unlimited.
So last episode we finished off at the Wimmera in Western Victoria. We managed to cover 3,050 k's in a little over 2 days. And now we're tracking north towards the Sunshine Coast in Queensland.
So currently we're pulled up beside Lake Pamamaroo.
Pamamaroo, I think it's pronounced. Basically Mendinee lakes. So really nice little free camps. The lake itself is huge, and all along this section is all free camps. So from here we're gonna keep trekking north, looking to go through Burke tomorrow, roughly St George the next day, probably around Blackbutt the following day, and then onto the Sunshine Coast for New Year's and a few days with my brother.
So yeah, stay tuned. It should be a cracker of an episode, all unfamiliar territory to us. Enjoy.
Close your eyes, hear the voice within. This heavy load got under your skin. All in, you got the white knuckles holding on it tight, keeping your feelings bottled up inside. Heading for collision in the night. To really live, you gotta die. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive. Breathe in, breathe out. Look at the colors, colors, colors around.
Had a great little night. Parked up next to the Pamamaroo lake, however you say it. It was beautiful. Plenty of bird life, nice and quiet. Not a breath of wind last night, so it was beautiful. Woke up this morning. We're getting pretty high up now, so it was pretty warm early in the rooftop tent. So we got up, made a coffee, packed up, and now we're hitting the road on the way to our next campsite. This morning we'll be heading through Wilcannia and then getting off the blacktop and getting on some dirt, heading off to Telpo, something along those lines, and then hopping past another little town and then camp along the Darling River somewhere. Should be a good little drive.
Well, after about 6 hours on the road today from Mendinee Lakes, we've made it to our campsite for today. It's another Darling River campground called Yapara Toorale or something like that.
Don't ask me.
I'm very sorry to any of the local mob watching that by my offensive pronunciation. But it looks like a pretty new national park. Just based on a lot of the station infrastructure here. So it's obviously an ex-station, and we've got this spot all to ourselves. It's between Christmas and New Year, so I can't complain. That's very nice. Heaps of wildlife on the way in. Bulk skippies and emus. I have read on the reviews that emus like to frequent this campground, so I'm hoping that we see some in here tonight. But we're gonna settle in, set up, crack a beer and relax.
Doing a little bit of a check over the cars this morning. All looks good. Checked over the tyres, picked up a screw. We're not leaking, but gotta keep an eye on it. Nice little tech screw. Hope it holds out. It's alright, got 2 spares, so yeah. Picked up another thing. Picked up a rock chip a couple of days ago. I think it was back in South Australia. Actually, more than a few days ago. Feels like it. I don't know if you can see it on there. But started off as a little chip. I wanted to get the chip repair done, but we didn't go past anywhere we could do it, so. Oh yeah.
Just like to point out that the Hilux doesn't have any issues.
A little chip there, it's tracked all its way up there. Yummer. I can't Leah. Hilux doesn't have any problems. Tell me what happens when you go over 80 k's an hour and it's above 35 degrees temperature outside?
The aircon is temperamental.
So it turns off?
Yeah.
So yeah, no problems with the Hilux, just aircon doesn't hurt in Central Australia and in the middle of summer.
It's only going to be 40 degrees today.
Yeah.
Just in the final stages of packing up.
Time to hit the road and enjoy some nice aircon. Well, I will.
Back on the dirt road between Toorale National Park, where we stayed last night, and Burke. The drive in and out of the national park is awesome if you like wildlife. Not great if you want to go fast because there's hundreds of kangaroos everywhere. So now we're just going to probably stop in Burke and top up fuel and grab a couple of supplies, and tonight we're going to keep tracking to a campground that's near St George. Cheeky stop for lunch at the Goodooga Artesian baths. Looks like they're sort of developing it a little bit. Baths are just over there. Big new car park. Information sign. It is hot as hell. It's like 40 degrees. Just knocked up some wraps. And I think we're going to get back in the aircon pretty soon.
The baths are even hotter than it is out here. So there's
easy 40 degree water. We were hoping that maybe we could go for a dip and freshen up, but I don't think so. Going to keep trekking on towards St George. Ourselves a camp for tonight, and it's another one to ourselves for now anyway.
Can't complain about that.
We're getting an hour back. It's only 3:30 in the arvo, so maybe someone else will pop in later on. I gotta get my phone to get these names right because I will butcher them otherwise. The first spot that we went to is just called Balonne River Camp, named after the river along here in Western Queensland. And it was chockers. It looked like a really nice spot, but there was what, like half a dozen caravans and campers.
Oh, at least.
Pulled up. It was
about 5 dogs come running out.
Yeah, it was a big area, but probably, yeah, not quite big enough for us to pull up. So we are now at the Warroo Bridge free camp. I think it's a council run one.
Yeah, it's an actual campsite here. It's actually marked on Google as well as a campsite, so.
Yeah, and it's right on the banks of the river. And not a bad little spot. There's heaps of areas, so there's probably about a dozen campsites along here.
And even the trucks go that both directions, up and down the river, so.
Very nice spot. It is still stinking hot. It hasn't budged off 40 degrees all afternoon, and we've got a little bit of cloud cover now, which is just going to trap it in. But yeah, we're going to get set up. There's a little sandy, almost like a beach, a river beach, down not too far from us, so we might go grab a couple of beers and go sit down there later on, dip our toes in. Water's not a very nice colour, but there's been heaps of rain. There's actually a minor flood warning along here, but there's not that much water. Whew.
WA nectar.
The last of it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, it is still absolutely cooking. It's after 5 and it's still 40 degrees. My car reckons it's 42. So we're going down to this beach for a swim. That water honestly looks disgusting, but it looks so tempting. It's all frothy, but it still looks good. Oh, that's soft. Why'd you get out of the water?
Something was nibbling on my leg. Scared the crap out of me. I had these little things nibble on my toes, and I was like, oh, they're just like little minnows or whatever. And something big was like, my leg off. Jesus Christ, get this shit out of me.
And what's like in your top 5 least favourite things?
Swimming in brown murky water.
It's refreshing though.
Oh, it was nice. It was nice in there until something started nibbling on my leg. Just get the crap out of me.
Just dipping toes in from now.
Just keep moving.
It has been a bit of a funny old morning here. Woke up this morning and it was nicely overcast. We got a little bit of rain through the night, but not much, just enough to cool it down, which was nice. And just a little bit of an ominous feeling. Birds were going absolutely apeshit. And then just as I was cooking breakfast, a big front started coming through and started rumbling. So we packed up super fast and we're on the road now. So main concern is just hail, really, and finding a camp that's not underneath trees. So we're now heading to a spot about 4 hours east, and it's like a council-run free camp. I guess kind of similar to where we stayed last night, but I think we're gonna have an interesting, albeit short drive today as these storms start rolling through. Pulled up in Surat, got some fuel, and that screw that Paul picked up in his rear driver's tyre is now leaking. But keep going. So we go and plug it up. Plugging not successful. Hole's not quite big enough. Swap them out. Spare tyres on.
It's a better option than just plugging it right in it. But
Managed to get this one plugged eventually once it was off. I do get the impression that us changing a tyre was the most exciting thing to happen in Surat in a while, judging from the onlookers. On we continue. Big ups to the BP owner at Tara for letting us park undercover in exchange for buying some drinks. Well, we have made it to our final camp for this leg of the trip.
We're in Cooyar. Cooyar.
Kind of like Cooyar, but more like a pirate.
Cooyar.
And this was a bit of a short notice decision to pull up here today, just based on the weather, which has come to fruition. This is a really nice little spot. Like I mentioned, council run free camp. There's that swinging bridge. A few locals over the other side of the creek. But nabbed a spot that's sort of clear of any big branches. And for such a short drive today, relative to what we've been doing lately, that was quite eventful.
It's been, well, it's the first time ever that I've seen golf-sized hailstones. I was going to say hail balls. Hailstones. They're massive.
We got really lucky. We arrived in Tara about 10 minutes after it stopped hailing, so there was still the massive hailstones lying around all over the place, and pulled up for probably an hour or so, waited for the next little storm cell to pass through. But I think we've got another one coming.
Just cracking off.
It doesn't look as nasty as what we've had before. So I reckon before it settles in, set up the awnings.
Another thing is, there is powered here.
Oh yeah.
$5 a night. Payable at the pub.
Yep. So this is a powered site that we pulled up at, but we're not going to use it because we have got full batteries from driving. But yeah, very nice. Highly recommend. Well, good morning from the banks of the Cooyar Creek. That is where we are going to finish this episode. We'll be arriving at my brother's on the Sunshine Coast later today, and we'll spend a few days there before continuing our travels down south, this time towards Canberra for a few days of work for me. What was your favourite part of the last few days?
The most exciting part was, I reckon, was that massive hailstorm that hit Tara. I think one of my favourite parts was when we left Wilcannia and then went Outback off-grid dirt roads and then camped up along the Darling River.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. There was not a soul out there. It was pretty hot, but it was beautiful.
Definitely. Yeah, we pretty much followed the Darling River all the way up from shortly after we passed through Mildura, all the way up into Queensland, and since then been on some of the sort of feeder rivers, I suppose, for the Darling. Definitely get a sense travelling through the Outback just how much the Darling River really are the lifeblood of entire ecosystems out there.
Crazy seeing how much the flood levels have been out there over the years as well. Seeing all the flood markers on the towns and certain places. Water gets pretty high.
Yeah.
Looking at you, fucking criminal. See how many times we stuff up names.
Yeah.
The locals get a bit noisy. Plenty of bird life around here.